Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh,
welcome back to part 2 of 6 of my top 30 favorite films. This is going to be number 25 to 21, so if you haven't seen 30 to 26, click the annotation on screen to check it out. But if you have, let's get right back on into the countdown. Number 25, Mystery Men. In a futuristic city full of superheroes, nobody's more awesome than Captain Amazing, and nobody's more evil than Casanova Frankenstein. But when Captain Amazing is defeated and captured by Casanova Frankenstein, 3 of the city's best and bravest heroes decide that they're gonna go and rescue him.
Oh, golly.
Okay, so maybe they're not that great. They're actually just 3 friends who are wannabe superheroes. There's the Blue Raja, who's a master of silverware, the Shoveler, who's a fighting coal miner, and Mr. Furious, who has the power to be, well, furious. They meet a bunch of other wannabe superheroes and try to make a team to go take on Casanova Frankenstein. And just like the rest of them, everybody has a strange power, like the Sphinx, who has the ability to be terribly mysterious.
He who questions training only trains himself at asking questions.
What?
This movie did terrible at the box office and got a bunch of negative reviews, but its concept and idea that anybody can be a superhero has built it up quite a fan base. In my opinion, one of the best superhero movies ever. But remember, I said one of. Number 24, Trick or Treat. A horror anthology film split into 4 stories centering around Halloween. Each story contains its own plot, but intertwines with the other stories in one way or another. The movie is in the style of a non-linear narrative, so not everything happens in chronological order, but it has subtle hints that let you know the different time frames in each scene. I like stories like this because when the movie's over, it's fun to try to piece together the order of everything happening, and the same goes for rewatching it a second time. Since you already know the characters, you'll see them appear in different parts of the movie, and some of the dialogue will have a different meaning since you already know the story. I don't even know if I can consider it a horror film, since the story concentrates more on plot development than it does on a body count. But that doesn't take away how scary and good this movie is. Each of the 4 stories was interesting and had a twist ending that I didn't see coming, so it really left me satisfied, and I'm sure it'll do the same for you. I enjoy it every time I watch it, but for me, the first time was always the best. Number 23, Spirited Away. Words cannot describe the amount of joy I get when I watch this movie. A girl named Chihiro and her parents wander into the spirit realm. Her parents are transformed into pigs due to their greed, and she must do whatever it takes to turn them back. She meets a boy named Haku, who helps her out and watches over her. He tells her to go work for a bathhouse run by a magical witch named Yubaba. Yubaba agrees to give Chihiro a job in exchange for her name.
Your name belongs to me now.
The longer she works there, the more about herself she forgets. And if she forgets her name entirely, she can never escape the spirit realm or save her parents. It sounds confusing, but the movie does a much better job of explaining it. It contains so many original creatures and characters that I find myself getting lost in the story every time I watch it. And all of it is held together by an awesome soundtrack, which helps the movie flow in such perfect harmony. The message of the story always leaves me with a positive outlook. It's all about overcoming obstacles and discovering who you are. Number 22, The Producers. An accountant and a Broadway show producer come up with an idea.
But under the right circumstances, a producer could make more money with a flop than he could with a hit.
It's a scam to get people to invest into a play that they know for sure is going to fail. This way they don't have to pay any of it back and they can run off with all the money.
You see? Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? You could have raised $1 million, put on a $60,000 flop, and kept the rest.
If you haven't seen the movie, I won't spoil it for you, but just know that the play that they choose is so bizarre that if I was in their predicament, I definitely would have chose the same one. What really sells this movie for me is the performances by Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder. Their characters have such great chemistry together.
I'm wet! I'm wet! I'm hysterical and I'm wet! I'm in pain! And I'm wet! And I'm still hysterical!
This was Mel Brooks' first feature film, and the success of it helped him become one of the most popular directors of the 1970s.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany. Deutschland.
Number 21, No Country for Old Men. A guy who lives in the desert stumbles upon a drug deal that went wrong, and then steals the money that was going to be exchanged. The cops get involved, as well as the people who the money and drugs belong to. They find out who took it, and then it becomes a manhunt. The drug lords send in a mercenary named Anton Chigurh, and let me tell you, you do not want to fuck with this guy. He kills people with a silent shotgun and an air compressor.
Is this guy supposed to be the ultimate badass?
You don't get much more badass than that. What makes him so scary is how relentless and menacing he is. A perfect example is the coin toss scene in the gas station. He tells the owner to call heads or tails, not knowing that if he gets it wrong, he's gonna kill him.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it.
As the movie goes on, it's not even about recovering the stolen money anymore. It's all about the hunt and the kill for him. He almost reminds me of Jason Voorhees, to where no matter how much he gets hurt, he's still gonna keep coming for you. Anton Chigurh is one of the most sinister characters to ever be put on screen, and will probably be going down as one of the best movie villains of all time.